Hi everybody, it's Christina from Pretty Distressed. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you a bonus Christmas video. We could all use a little Christmas cheer, definitely this year. I'm going to be showing you a project I did last year with mother-daughter projects. So if you want to see this cute little DIY Christmas tree project, just keep watching. If you are new here, I'm a furniture painter and refinisher, and you will normally find me on here making over pieces of furniture each week. But today I am doing a Christmas DIY because I don't know about you, but I really need some Christmas in my life really early. I did this project last year. It's a Pottery Barn dupe, and I did it with my friends at Mother-Daughter Projects. They built it, and then I stained it, and I'm getting to pull them out again and decorate my mantle for Christmas. And these are actually still really popular, and we've seen them on different websites. So I thought this would be a great project to pull out of the archives, dust it off, and share it with you again. To start out this project, you're gonna need 6 large 5-gallon paint sticks, and I'm gonna let Vicky and Steph show you how to do the rest.
We're making all the cuts on the miter saw, which is set at 60 degrees to make all the top angles. Then adjust the miter saw to 31.6 degrees to cut the pieces to the various lengths needed. We did the same with the wood dowels. Next, Mom glued the top of the wood dowels together. You can see we're using construction hot glue that is a stronger bond than regular hot glue. Then Mom glued the paint sticks together. She tried scraping off the excess glue as she worked. She got everything in place and then glued those pieces together. The glue really worked well because it dries quickly. Mom left some excess at the bottom that she cut off on the miter saw. And look, she's so proud of herself. It was at this point that we realized there was a little too much excess glue on the back and tried to remove it. We tried removing it the best we could, as it will be a challenge to finish this part of the tree. Sorry, Christina. To make the base, we were using a 1-inch wood dowel and some nuts and bolts. We found the same size drill bit and drilled into one dowel first. Then we lined up all 3 base pieces and drilled all the way through. Mom glued the back support to the tree and then attached the base. And here it is. For the second tree, Mom followed the same process, but just used regular paint sticks, which you can buy in packages of 10 for under $1. And because it was a challenge removing the hot glue, she used wood glue and just waited for it to dry this time.
What we learned. I learned a whole lot about cutting angles. I'm fairly new to using a miter saw on my own, and I had a little trouble getting the angles correct and figuring out where they need to go. So I kept this little piece by my miter saw so I could be sure that I was laying the board out correctly, otherwise I would get the cuts in the wrong place.
One thing we noticed about the base is we basically sandwiched these 2 dowels together with a paint stick in the middle. And what we noticed is they got a little off on both of them. So what I would probably recommend is making the paint stick in the middle a little bit shorter so that doesn't become an issue and it doesn't stick out.
And because I had so much difficulty originally making those angle cuts, buy more materials than you need because you may end up needing them.
The first thing I'm doing is just setting out the trees, and I'm taking apart the bases so that I can stain those as well. And I set aside the hardware so that I would not lose it. Grab your can, open it, and stir it up really good just to evenly distribute all the pigment that's in there. I also grabbed my nitrile gloves to protect my hands, and then my favorite Intex multi-purpose rag. I'm starting with the smaller tree, dipping that rag directly into the stain and then blotting it out a little bit. Like I said, this is really pigmented, so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't putting on too much because you can't dial it back once you put too much on. As I'm applying this, I am going with the grain, dipping back in for more stain when I need it, and blotting it out on that cloth. Like I did the back, I also need to do the sides as well to make sure that they are stained. And now onto the other side of the tree. Once I got all the stain put down on the tree, I just found a clean spot on my cloth and just wiped back any of the excess stain that was still on the tree. I also finished off the bottom just because I wasn't sure how much was going to show once I put the stands on. Now I'm going to grab my other tree, and again I started on the back just to get the hang of it because this one is shaped a little differently and it has more detail than the smaller one. So it just gave me a little practice run doing the back because no one's really going to see the back, but you do still need to have it finished off if you're going to place it on a mantle or something. So my technique is exactly the same. I'm just putting on that stain, dipping into that can and blotting it out as I go. Something that was different about the bigger trees is that they had this little section of detail in between the slats. I wasn't able to push enough stain in there just using my rag, so I grabbed a just little cheap paintbrush that I had laying around to fill in those gaps. So now that we've got the hang of this, let's speed it up and get this tree done. And just like on that other one, don't forget to get your sides. And that little paintbrush helped get into the corners on the sides as well. Okay, now that the trees are done, I need to stain my bases as well. I just stained them all the way around, just in case you could see any part of it when the tree was put together. This stain dries pretty quickly within an hour. Just make sure it's not sticky or tacky before you move on to your next step. I am going to distress my trees a little bit. I'm starting with a wire brush and just rubbing this in the direction of the grain. It just adds a little bit more depth and texture. I'm also going to take a hammer and just lightly tap that around to put some nicks in it. And another thing I like to do to distress pieces is take a little nail and dot that in there and make little wormholes. Then I grabbed a paper towel and just wiped up any dust that I created distressing. To seal my piece, I'm going to be using wax in white. I am applying it with one of those Intex cloths, the same cloths that I used to add the stain. I thought it was going to really collect and pick up the spots that I distressed, but it actually just created a really soft whitewashed effect, and I liked the way that it was looking, so I just went with it. Since this wax is so soft, it just really easily wiped into the piece and kind of just melted into it and gave it a beautiful whitewashed effect. Once I got all the wax on, I wiped them down with a clean cloth and then I finished off the bases as well. So now it's time to put these trees together. I'm putting on the bases and screwing them shut. Having these removable bases was really a great feature for shipping these, but it's also going to be great for storage in case I need to lay them completely flat. I loved decorating with these last year, and so I am going to put them up on my mantle again this year. I did not buy anything new to decorate this mantle. I'm just using things that I have. Most of the stuff is from Target, so I will link some similar sources down in the description box if you're interested. Thank you guys for joining me today for this little bonus video. I hope it puts you in the Christmas spirit. I hope you have fun trying this out. Go check out Vicki and Steph at Mother Daughter Projects and subscribe to their channel. I will be back next week with another furniture project, so I will see you guys next time.